Manly P. Hall was a high-ranking Freemason who wrote The Secret Teachings of All Ages. He states that the radiation symbol is a Masonic sigil used in accepted rite Freemasonry, which represents the success of our combined plan for world domination. Magical symbols, or sigils, can also be conveyed using hand signals. In her book, Transformation of America, author Kathy O'Brien claims that she was the victim of a mind control program run by the CIA. She claims that George Bush Sr. used ancient magical hand signals to directly control her subconscious mind. She also claims that Bill Clinton was under mind control. In covertly recorded off-air transmissions from the Bush-Clinton presidential election campaign in the 1990s, we can see that Bill Clinton was nothing more than a puppet to the puppet masters which placed him in the White House. Bill Clinton's demeanor seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
Lampe, Missouri was a place where I heard George Bush and Bill Clinton talking, where from the point of view I had, they certainly were friends, and they didn't recognize any party lines between them. That's something for the, a smoke and mirrors illusion for the public. It's not something they adhere to, because they had exactly the same agenda, and that was for bringing in this new world order. I heard George Bush talking at that time. He was talking to Bill Clinton, and I've since photographically recorded it and wrote it verbatim in our book, that when the American people became disillusioned with Republicans leading them into the New World Order, that Bill Clinton, as a Democrat, was going to be put into the office of president. This was decided in 1984. Actually, I'd heard about it even prior to that, but that, as of 1984, they were already discussing it as an absolute fact.
If you go back 225 or 30 years ago, you have what we call the Illuminati that was established in 1776. And the goals of the Illuminati, this is all very well documented, are to take over the world. One of the best ways of taking over the world is to control people's minds and to take over a country through the control of the minds. So what's happening in America, and based on my research and my interviews with numerous individuals, is that the powers that be, the higher-ups, the people in the Illuminati, are using the satanic cults as a means and as a tool to condition individuals and to make them victims of the mind control, MK Ultra mind control program. There's probably close to 4 million practicing Satanists in the United States alone, based on my intelligence information.
Brainwashing, hypnosis, and even surgical manipulation of the human brain has all been researched thoroughly by the CIA.
To provide an objective record of a subject's behavior, she's filmed before treatment and again after treatment, and the two films placed side by side. Notice how the subject before treatment, in the picture on the right, holds onto the chair as she moves. Notice the difference in posture, the greater effort required to rise from the chair, the longer time needed to complete the simple task.
He would cut the skin, take the skin flap back, roll it back. He would then literally remove the skull, the top part of the skull. The patient all this time is under a local anesthetic, completely conscious.
From my own point of view, the most unexpected finding was to discover that a mild electrical current applied to the surface of the brain causes a patient to have a memory from his own past sometimes.
Good. Make it 1 volt, please. 1 volt. Yeah. Is it 1 volt?
I heard what sounded like an orchestra playing, and I asked the nurse where it was coming from. And she said, "What music?" And I said, "Well, that music." And then it stopped.
Then I stimulated it again, you remember, and asked you about it, and you hummed it. Will you hum it now? You remember it?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Da 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 da.
I guess yet I've never seen a lot of beauty in my life. Well, in your house there are servants and the lights are dim. Such a beautiful home, your agents on the phone, they never leave you alone. The party never stops. You say this fantasy.
If you sat around a table and you said, right, what we need to do is we need to find some way of getting young people to see the world the way we want them to see it. So that by the time they become adults, they are completely following the reality we want them to believe in. Someone might say, well, they might not have it but you know the ideal thing? What we do is we have a system where we take children away from their parents at least 5 days a week, all day, from about the age of 4 and 5, and we have control of their minds until they're about 17, 18. That would be ideal. Well, of course, that's what happens. It's called the education system.
Yes.
And it's indoctrination. 'The whole system, because we have 2 hemispheres of the brain, the left brain, which is about words and this world reality and, you know, the perception of this reality. We have the right brain, which is where you get creativity, inspiration, and connection, and then you've got this corpus callosum, which connects the 2. First of all, we use a fraction of our brains. Why is that? And the other thing is that what the system does is it turns out left brain prisoners. They run the system. And it does it by putting information through schools and colleges and universities into the left brain, which it then says at time of an exam, give me all that back, and if you tell me what I've told you well enough to believe, then you'll pass the exam and you'll be very successful. Anyone that takes that information into the right brain and puts their spin on it, or questions it, or sees through it, and puts that in the exam, they are perceived as a disruptive influence in the classroom.
Yes, they are.
And so what happens is, for you to become a doctor, overwhelmingly a politician, a journalist, someone often in industry, all these areas that control the system.
The professions.
The professions.
Yeah.
Lawyers.
Yes.
I mean, on and we go. You have to have gone through your young life constantly taking information into your left brain and regurgitating it out on exam papers. To become a teacher, you have to go through that process. Then you go through teacher training college, where you're taught how to do it to others, and then you let loose on the children.
Yes.
The whole system is run by left-brain prisoners. And if you look at the school system, things like music and art that stimulate this side of the brain, the uniqueness, they are constantly cut back in favor of left-brain curriculums. And this is systematic. I have to get this over to people. This is not systematic at the level of, people who administer it into reality. It is coldly calculated in the shadowy areas where these concepts first come from.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing.
Yeah, these examinations, what's happening is that, to fit in, to be part of the so-called in crowd, you have to reconfirm the beliefs of the hierarchy.
Exactly.
Momento hay alguien anotando hasta el más mínimo detalle de tu perfil de Facebook. Por lo tanto, para el lenguaje de Facebook, compartir es anunciar. A sus creadores les basta con cruzarse de brazos y ver cómo millones de adictos transmiten voluntariamente sus datos personales, fotografías y listas de sus objetos de consumo favoritos. Aunque el proyecto fue inicialmente concebido por la estrella mediática Mark Zuckerberg, la verdadera cara de Facebook es el capitalista de riesgo de 40 años de Silicon Valley y filósofo futurista Peter Thiel. Thiel está intentando destruir el mundo real, que él llama naturaleza, e instalar en su lugar un mundo virtual. Es en este contexto donde debemos considerar el auge de Facebook. Facebook es un experimento de manipulación global. Ahora, parémonos a mirar al tercer inversor de los tres que conforman la plataforma de la compañía, James Breyer. Este individuo es el expresidente de la National Venture Capital Association. Pues bien, este año Facebook recibió un capital de $32 millones por parte de Greylock Venture Capital, que preside Gilman Louis, expresidente también de National Venture Capital y miembro de Incutel. ¿Qué es Incutel? Pues nada más y nada menos que el ala principal de investigación de la CIA, que se dedica a encontrar medios tecnológicos que puedan proveer información a la Agencia Central de Inteligencia de Estados Unidos. Por lo tanto, la CIA y los intereses de Estados Unidos promueven temas ideológicos a partir de Facebook, además de utilizarlo como base de pruebas y fuente de información sobre todos sus usuarios. No estamos tan lejos de la novela de George Orwell 1984, en la que un personaje de carácter omnipresente lo controla todo. Por eso podemos afirmar que estamos comenzando a vivir en la sociedad orwelliana, porque aunque Facebook pretende ser libertad, no se asemeja más a un régimen virtual totalitario, motivado ideológicamente con una población que pronto sobrepasará a la del Reino Unido. Esta es la realidad de Facebook y de sus inversores.
So, before we move off this privacy thing, and I thought that was a fascinating answer.
It's okay. You want to take off the hoodie?
No, I never take off the hoodie.
I know you don't. What's with that? There's a group of women in the audience that wish you would. And
no.
Girls?
Whoa.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah, that's okay.
Can you explain what this instant personalization thing was that you did, and why you did it, and what's the value of it to your users?
Maybe I should take off the hoodie.
Take off the hoodie.
Go ahead.
You want to? Are you hot? Go ahead. Here. can get from them. You all right?
Yeah.
This is a great moment in internet history.
What?
You all right?
What are we gonna do with the mic?
Put it on your...
All right.
Put it on the collar of your T-shirt. Do you want?
You need some help?
No, I'm good.
All right. Okay. Mark?
Sorry about the.
Sorry about being warm, Mark.
Nah, it's...
We're not even yelling at you.
Yeah.
Yet.
We're not going to yell at it.
No, of course not. That is a warm hoodie.
Yeah, no, it's a thick hoodie. It's a company hoodie. We print our mission on the inside.
What?
Oh,
my
really?
God, the inside of the hoodie, everybody. Take a moment. What is it? Making the
world more open and connected.
Oh my God, it's like a secret
Cool.
cult. Look at that, making the world open and connected, stream, graph, platform, and this weird symbol in the middle that is probably for the Illuminati. Illuminati. Oh, 2010.
No, it's 2010.